Hey guys, Miss Warren here. Today I'm going to talk to y'all about coloring. So we've drawn our linear perspective room, and I really do want y'all to color and or shade this. Now, the very first thing I did here is I went over all the pencil lines I wanted to keep with a pen. Now you could also use marker to make it nice and bold and outlined. I used a pen. This is my favorite type of pen, the Pilot V5 Precise. But you can use a marker or a Sharpie, or you can press hard with a colored pencil to kind of make sure the lines that are there are the ones that you want to keep. This also hides any mistakes you may have made by making the lines you want to keep darker. Then I would choose a color palette. Now, so for me, I've chosen mostly red and blue. There's a few blacks and a little bit of brown. So red and blue are my main colors, and I want to make sure that I'm repeating them throughout the picture. So I don't just want to have one red thing and then nothing else red. It doesn't look like it goes together or matches. I don't want to just have one blue thing and nothing else blue, looks like nothing matches. So now some tips on actual coloring. So when I started coloring the bed, I thought about, or when I started coloring anything, I thought about that my main source of light is going to be coming from the window. So the light's shining this way. So then that made me think where my light highlights and shadows would need to be. Now, right here along the wall, my highlights are, it's not probably going to be very light because the light doesn't really start shining till about here, like if I kind of drew a line with my finger. So this corner against the wall is going to be kind of dark. Now, when I shade the wall in, I'm going to press a little bit more right along my furniture because it's casting a little bit of a shadow on the wall. And I'm going to go the direction towards the vanishing point when I'm on the wall. I'm going back and forth diagonal. I'm not going up and down. I'm going diagonal, and I'm kind of going towards the vanishing point. A shadow would probably be cast a little bit here. Now on this back wall, I would probably shade flat. And notice how small my marks are. They're not really huge marks. They're small, they're close together, you can't see the lines. I'm gonna create more shadow down here around this wastebasket because you probably wouldn't get very much light down there at all. Okay. As I color in the carpet, I decided to kind of do the carpet like a neutral tan color. And for that, I'm just using brown, but I'm pressing harder along the edges. And under furniture, where there would be a little more shadow. And also, I'm still kind of going towards the vanishing point. So my shadows on the ground on this side will be more slanted and then less slanted. And yet again, under and behind my furniture, I'm pressing a little bit harder. I think I want to put more of a shadow behind this computer on the wall to kind of make it really show that it stands out from the wall. I think I want to put some more shadow under this desk along the wall to show that it's pretty dark under there. And yet again, I'm kind of leaning vaguely towards the vanishing point as I'm doing this. Okay. On fabric surfaces, so I just first did like the little dash marks to show the direction of the wrinkles, and here I did the direction of the wrinkles on the sheets and the blankets. I take a red, and where this goes up, I know that that's going to be higher, so it's going to catch more shadow. So at the base of it, I kind of go back and forth. Now this blanket, I want to show that it kind of doesn't go exactly to the vanishing point. Now everything on the top surface, I'm coloring back and forth. And I'm kind of curving the color along the edge here to show that that wraps around the bed. And I'm going to put a little more of a shadow where the blanket folds over right here, right before you get to the pillows. So I'm going to press a little bit harder there. Now I'm also going to press a little bit harder along the edge here as I color in, because this is where the shadow would be because it's lower. I'm going to press less hard along this edge because it would catch a lot of light because it's the corner of the bed. So along the wall, I'm going to press a little harder. Along the bottom here, I'm going to press a little harder, and I'm going to think about where my wrinkles would be, because they would go down and not catch as much light. Okay. So I think I'm going to shade this dresser in right here. I think I'm going to use blue because the rest of the furniture in the room is blue. So I'm going to get a nice dark blue, and I'm going to look at the light source, and then I'm going to shade. I'm going to press harder where something might be casting a shadow. Just along the edges opposite of the window. Now this surface, it faces the window kind of, so it's going to get more light. So I'm going to just very subtly color that in straight up and down here. I'm going to put a little more shadow right under this edge though, to show that this edge really sticks out. Then I'm going to very lightly give this edge a little bit of blue because I want to show that it's blue, but it's going to be reflecting a lot of light. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of shade, now that I got my shadows down, I'm going to shade kind of towards the vanishing point, show the surface is nice and flat. I don't want to get it too dark because it's probably catching a lot of that light from that window. And the smaller you keep your marks and the closer together they are, the less striped it will look. I'm moving my pencil quickly, going all kind of in the same general direction. I think I'm going to build up the color on this a little bit. I'm going to make it look a little bit darker because if you look at how dark the furniture here is, I kind of want it to match a little bit. Like they bought it from the same store, it came part of the same set. I'll probably go back through and darken the shadow that that Coke can is making. So I'm slowly building up the shadow, making sure that it's the color I want it to be. Kind of build up the shadow around this bowl too. It's casting a little bit of shadow from that window. You know, I don't think that there's enough red over here, so I think I'm going to take this little keychain and I'm going to make it red to match the other red in the room. Use a light red for the surface that's kind of facing a little more that way, and I'm going to use a darker red for the edge that's facing away from it. Okay. So I think up here on the curtain rod, in the next video, this one's getting kind of long. So in the next video, I think I'm going to do the fabric on the curtain and the curtain rod, and I'm going to do the window as well.